today about the unraveling the mysteries of our inner ecosystem, the gut microbiome. So, in this case, when we talk about microbiome, it's a different type of microbes we consider in this, such as bacteria, virus, fungi, archaebacteria, and eukaryotes that can inhabit our body, human body. They are also called as a second human genome because since they outnumber the number of cells we have in our body, so that's why we say as a second human genome. Now in more specific, if you go to gut microbiome, there are about 10 times more number of cells, microbial cells we have in the human gut than the whole human body itself. So they are more than 10 times more than our cells, and it can estimate roughly around 100 trillion microbes, which may be from different species, maybe around 5,000 species, and it can weigh up to 2 kilograms. So these are the abundance of microbiome in different body sites human body used to carry. The oral cavity, then we have microbes in the skin, stomach, jejunum, ileum, colon, duodenum. Now among this, if you see that we have the microbiomes in almost throughout the gut. The gut means they are coming from starting from oral cavity to the final colon. Now in this, the large intestine is the place in the digestive system where we say that the microbes used to be more in the number. If you see the number over here, so among all this over here, you can see that colon is having the 10 to the power 14, means if you count the number of microbes present in different sites, colon exceeds far than the others. And we know that the lot of that microbes are there in our gut, which can affect our digestion. So we'll discuss more about this gut microbiome, and whenever we talk about the overall microbiome and the amount of microbiome in the gut, it comprises that our gut microbiome is having more than 95% of the body's microbiota. So gut out of 100% this is present in the skin or other part of the body, gut contributes around 95% of the microbiome. Now what are the microbiome or the different type of microbes present in the gut? So in this case, if you see, most of the studies people have focused on the bacteria present in the gut, but apart from bacteria we do have virus also present in the gut, protozoa also, and fungi also. Now coming more specific to the bacteria, we have firmicutes. We used to, in this category we have lactobacillus, clostridium, enterococcus, and they are associated with the fermentation of dietary fibers. Whatever fibers we take in the food, that is used by this bacteria, and they ferment those fibers, and they make short chain fatty acids, which is of very good health importance to humans. Second is the bacteroides. In this case, its main role is to break down the complex carbohydrate we take from the diet. Example is Prevotella. So this is involved in the degradation of plant polysaccharide and fiber. The third category is the actinobacteria, bifidobacterium, known for its probiotic properties and ability to ferment the dietary fibers. Similarly, we have Collinsella, also that is also in the carbohydrate metabolism. So if you see that a lot of probiotics in the market, they consist mostly the lactobacillus or bifidobacterium. So these are the two main microbes present in our gut. So people assume that lactobacillus and bifidobacterium are the most in number in the gut, apart from the other species, but that will be the lesser number. But these are the more main gut microbes, lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. Lactobacillus, normally we say that it's in the small intestine, whereas the bifidobacterium we say it's mostly in the large intestine. The other category of bacteria present in the gut is proteobacteria, such as Helicobacter, Enterobacter, E. coli. So they have their different type of species are there. Some may be beneficial, some may be pathogenic. So these species, this genus of bacteria is also present in our gut. Then the other next is the fusobacteria. So this is the less abundant in gut microbiota, but this is also present, but they are also linked with the colorectal cancer. Whereas the other bacteria which is present in our gut is Varicom microbia, which includes the genus Akkermansia, which is associated with the gut health and mucin degradation, the lining of the intestine. Whereas the other one is Spirochaetes, which has the which is also present in the gut, but they are less abundant to the other one. So if you see this, there are different types of bacteria present in our gut apart from virus, protozoa and fungi. Now lot of different roles are there in gut, so we'll see some significant role what they play in the human health. So first is it helps in the immune system. So when we know that when the baby is born, the intestine will be sterile initially, but he gets the microbes from the, if it is through the vaginal delivery, it will get the microbes from the mother, and that will stimulate the maturation of the immune cells. So the microbes which we get from the mother, that will be stimulating the gut, stimulates the maturation of the immune cells and helps in establish the immune tolerance. So this is very important, because in order to distinguish the what are the harmless substance and what may be the threat for the system. Then it may be the second one, regulatory of inflammatory response. As I mentioned in the last slide, that some gut bacteria produced short chain fatty acids, so these are anti-inflammatory. So it also helps in promoting the T cell production to keep the inflammation in check. Then also the gut microbiome, the good health, good microbiome in the gut, they helps in maintaining the gut barrier. So intestine is, we know that the intestine is the place where the nutrients are absorbed. Whatever food we take, the nutrients are absorbed there. If they have not a healthy microbiome and healthy flora is not there, then it may affect the passing the nutrients to the gut lining. So it helps in gut maintenance of the gut barrier function. So gut microbiome contributes to the maintenance of gut barrier integrity. So and it also prevents the movement of the harmful pathogens, toxins into the bloodstream. And if it passes, then it will be a problem for the host. The next is the immune cell communication, where the gut microbe interact with immune cells through very signaling pathways, and this helps in them to distinguish between beneficial and harmful microbes. So again, the next one is the protection against pathogens. So if a microbiome is very diverse in the gut, then it can not allow the potential pathogens to colonize inside the gut, and therefore it protects against the pathogens. Then systemic effects on immune function. The gut microbiome can influence the immune response beyond the gut. So dysbiosis in the gut means, or the imbalance, if we have good we have less of good bacteria in gut, it can link to number of disease like allergy, autoimmune disease and other immune mediated disorders. So these are the roles of the gut microbes in the immune system. The next is this gut microbiome has a major role in the digestion and nutrient absorption. So as we know that whatever fiber we take in the food that is ingested by us is consumed by gut bacteria, and they ferment that complex fibers and carbohydrates and to make the short chain fatty acids, which then provides a source of energy for the different cells like colonocytes for the human health. Also it affects the nutrient uptake, absorption. If the good healthy bacteria is there in the gut, it will improve the absorption of the iron, especially the iron and calcium. If the health is if the gut flora is not healthy, it affects the absorption of these particular minerals. The metabolism and bile acids. Gut bacteria plays a significant role in the metabolism of bile acids and digestion of fats. So that the gut microbes can deconjugate and dehydroxylate bile acids and affecting their solubility and reabsorption in the intestine. Then whatever the microbes present in our gut, it can also help in making different type of vitamins, especially the vitamin B and vitamin K. So those type of functions what are provided by the vitamin B and K, like blood clotting, helps in blood clotting synthesis and energy metabolism. In this, the good bacteria in the gut can help in making such type of vitamins. Then modulation of gut barrier function. So we know that the mucins and the tightening between junction between the epithelial cells of gut is very important to maintain the integrity of the gut, and it's in order to facilitate efficient nutrient absorption while preventing the translocation of pathogens and toxins. So this is how the bacteria present in the gut can affect the digestion and nutrient absorption. Now the other thing, how it protects from the pathogens. Like if you have a good number of good bacteria in the gut, it will not allow the pathogens to colonize there. So first is the competitive exclusion, where the diverse and balanced gut microbiome will not allow the pathogens, and it will for nutrients and colonization. So it limits the ability of pathogens to establish in the gut. The next is the production of antimicrobial substance. Some gut bacteria produce antimicrobial substance like bacteriocins, defensins, H2O2 that can inhibit the growth of harmful pathogens. So the other mechanism, this is another mechanism to not allow the pathogens to overtake the gut. So this substances maintain a healthy microbial balance in the gut and prevent pathogen overgrowth. The third one is the enhancement of the gut barrier function, where it promotes the production of mucus and strengthen tight junction between epithelial cells. And thus, if it is tight junction between the epithelial cells, it will reduce the likelihood of pathogens going through the gut barrier to the bloodstream. Then next is the short chain fatty acids. As I mentioned earlier, it makes after the fermentation of the dietary fiber, they make short chain fatty acids, and these short chain fatty acids have antimicrobial properties and help maintain a low pH environment in the gut, which is not favorable for most of the pathogens. So pathogens are not able to flourish in the gut. Next is the induction of intolerance and immune regulation. The gut microbiome microbes can promote immune tolerance and regulate the inflammatory response, preventing excessive immune activation that could harm the host. Thus, immune regulation is crucial for maintaining a balanced gut microbiota and preventing inflammatory conditions. The last one is the modulation of pathogen virulence. The gut bacteria can directly influence the virulence of pathogens by producing molecules that interfere with pathogen colonization. They don't allow the pathogen to colonize, and they disrupt the ability their ability to cause harm to the host. This is about that how this healthy gut flora can help against us against the pathogens. Next is that the gut flora can also affect the drug metabolism and toxicity. So metabolism of drugs, gut microbes can metabolize drugs. Whatever drugs we take, it can affect their pharmacological property, bioavailability, potency and toxicity, whereas it can also metabolize the dietary components, different type of polyphenols, bioactive compounds, metabolites, this drug dietary components, whatever we take in the diet, that can be metabolized by the gut microbes for the useful way. Then drug induced dysbiosis. Some drugs can affect the number of good and versus the unhealthy flora, unhealthy bacteria. So that can lead to the altering the drug metabolism enzymes, and it can also affect the drug interaction with the gut microbiome. Then toxicity of drug metabolites. The gut microbial metabolism of drugs can generate toxic metabolites that can contribute to drug toxicity and adverse effect. Then activation and inactivation of prodrugs, where we have the gut bacteria can participate in the activation and inactivation of product through enzymatic reactions, and thus impacting the drug efficacy and toxicity. Intrahepatic circulation, where the drug the microbiome can influence the intrahepatic circulation of drugs by metabolizing drug metabolites excreted in the bile back into active and inactive form. So this recycling process can prolong drug exposure and impact drug efficacy and toxicity of the drug. So it from this we can say that the microbes present in our gut has significant role in the metabolism of the drugs. Next is this is the very interesting aspect of the gut microbiome, where it can affect our mental health also. So the first one is gut-brain axis. We say that gut is our second brain, because a lot of microbes can make neurotransmitters, neuropeptides, and it can directly affect the brain function and behavior of the individual. Similarly, if you have chronic inflammation in the gut, dysbiosis in the gut, it can lead to development of the mood disorder and cognitive impairment. People may not be able to recollect, memory will be affected, and it can also lead to neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson disease. Similarly, when we replace those bad microbes with the good one by use of probiotics, we can see the improvement in the symptoms. Similarly, we have behavior effects. If you are manipulating the gut microbiome through probiotic, prebiotic, or fecal microbiota transfer, then you can improve the cognitive function and the psychiatric conditions. Then neurotransmitter production. Gut microbes can produce neurotransmitters, happy hormone like serotonin, dopamine, GABA, which is helpful in maintaining the good behavior, cognition and mood. Then a stress response regulation. So this gut microbiome can also influence the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, which regulates the body's stress response. So due to this role of the gut microbiome, people have worked on the psychobiotics, in which people suggest to take live microbes, which is required for this type of neurotransmitters, which can affect the behavior and the mood and the cognition of a person. So they have shown promising results and have work as antidepressant and anxiolytic effects in preclinical and clinical studies. Now, gut microbiome has a big role in metabolism and weight regulation. Like it can make short chain fatty acids, which has providing energy to the host. It can affect the nutrient absorption. So gut microbiomes can influence the absorption and metabolism of nutrients, including fats and carbohydrates, and uptake of those nutrients. That it can also affect the inflammatory pathways, such as it can do the chronic inflammation, metabolic homeostasis, promotes adipose tissue inflammation, and impairs insulin signaling, and contributing to metabolic dysfunction and weight gain. Similarly, this gut microbiome can affect the regulation of the energy homeostasis. It can make gut hormones such as ghrelin, leptin, and different peptides, which can regulate the appetite and satiety signals. So urge to eat and urge to cravings for the food, that is also regulated by the gut microbiome. Similarly, a lot of metabolites are produced by gut microbiome, which can affect the lipid metabolism, adipogenesis, and insulin sensitivity. Now the next one is the interaction with the diet. If you are eating a diet rich in fiber, whole grains, and plant-based foods, you are supporting a diverse and healthy gut microbiota, which can protect against the obesity and metabolic disorders. Similarly, in microbial signaling, gut microbes communicate with host and other bacteria through the signaling molecules, also called as quorum sensing molecules, and extracellular vesicles that can influence the host metabolic inflammation and energy balance, thus contributing to metabolic health or dysfunction. So what are the factors which can affect the gut microbiome? So gut microbiome, number of factors can affect. First is the diet. What diet we are taking? Are we taking a plant-based diet or a more of the eating non-veg diet? So that can affect the gut microbiome, and moreover, it can also affect. It can also be affected by the genetics of the host, such as what type of genes they carry, what type of genes are involved in immune function, genes for the mucosal barrier integrity. Then metabolism can influence the microbial colonization and persistence in the gut. Similarly, what type of lifestyle we are following, that can also affect the gut microbiome. Like in the gut microbiome changes with age and lifestyle. So whatever the microbial communities we have in the infants or childhood may not be same when you go older. So as individual age, the gut microbiome composition may change in response to the various physiological and lifestyle changes. So stress, physical activity, sleep pattern, environmental exposure all affects the gut microbiome. Similarly, use of antibiotics. Antibiotics, as we know that it kills the bacteria in our gut, so it also affects the good bacteria in our gut. So we should also always be away from antibiotics, try to be away from antibiotics, and other medications such as NSAIDs, proton pump inhibitors, and oral contraceptives can impact the gut microbiome. Then environmental exposure, where we are staying, where we are living. If we are living in urban cities, we are exposed to more different type of pollutants. So we such as heavy metals, also heavy metals, pesticides, they all can disrupt the microbial communities and impair gut barrier. Similarly, microbial interactions, mutualistic relationships, competition for resources, microbial cross-feeding interactions plays a role in shaping the structure and stability of the gut microbiome. So this is a picture which shows that what happens in the case when you have the bad gut and the good gut. So green one represents when you have the good gut, in which you have better healthy gut. You have small increase in the small chain fatty acid production. You have more antioxidant produced in the gut. You have this indoxasulfate will be less, which is a kidney toxin. You have improved lipid metabolism. You have low gut inflammation. You have insulin sensitivity will be better, and reduced risk of some infection. Whereas when you go for a gut which is not healthy, then you can have lot of things which is affecting the gut. Small chain fatty acids will be less, TMAO production will be more, LPS production will be more, then increase in cardiovascular diseases, inflamed gut, cognitive decline will be there, insulin resistance will be there, increased risk of diarrhea will be there. So what are this affecting? This is affected by when we are taking more of the sugar in the food, when you are taking excess of the protein, or when you are taking the saturated fatty acid, or we are taking more of the antibiotics and inhibitors. So how we can improve our gut microbiome? So a lot of suggestions people have given, and scientists have worked on this area. If we take a diet rich in plant-based and fiber-rich diet, you can improve the gut microbiome. This is the first thing what people follow. So fiber serves as a prebiotic, meaning it provides a fuel for the beneficial bacteria in the gut. So what type of fibers where we can get? We can get fibers from the fruits, vegetable, whole grains, legumes, nuts and seeds. Similarly, we should be away from the processed foods. So then plant-based diets such as vegetarian diets are associated with the more diverse and beneficial gut microbiome. So plant food contain a variety of nutrients and phytochemicals that can promote the growth of the beneficial bacteria, whereas inhibiting the harmful bacteria. Similarly, we can have fermented foods such as yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, tempeh, kombucha. So these are the fermented foods, and if you see that fermented foods is in practice throughout the civilization, different civilization, and throughout the time since our ancestors have followed the fermented food diet, they have always used some type of fermented food in their diet. So this also helps in improving the beneficial gut in the bacteria into the gut. Then if you take more of polyphenol rich foods such as fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, tea, coffee, not up too much, but tea, coffee can also help in improving the gut microbiome. Dark chocolate. So these are the things which is providing food to the bacteria present in the gut. Then you can have healthy fats such as olive oil, avocado oil, nuts, seeds, fatty fish. This also support the gut health, and this all things also helps in the decreasing the inflammation in the gut, therefore promoting a healthy microbial balance. Next is that you can limit the taking processed foods. You should not take much processed food and food high in added sugars, preservatives that can impact the gut microbiome. So limiting these foods in diet can help maintain a healthy gut microbiome. Similarly, excessive alcohol can also affect the gut bacteria and increase the intestine permeability and can cause inflammation. Hydration is very important, so you should drink optimum water to help ensure proper digestion and functioning of the gastrointestinal tract. Then diverse diet. We should not follow a monotonous diet. We should follow a different type of diet, including a variety of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, other nutrient-rich foods in your diet to support a healthy microbial ecosystem. Now, apart from this, some lifestyle changes can also help in healthy gut microbiome. You have to regular exercise. Some studies have shown that exercise for around 30 minutes can help inflammation in the gut and promote the growth of the good bacteria. Similarly, manage stress, do deep breathing, yoga, tai chi, or spending time in nature may help in managing the stress, which can also affect the gut microbiome. It will help the good bacteria to flourish. Similarly, adequate sleep. Sleep is very important. You have to prioritize good sleep hygiene and aim for 7 to 9 hours quality sleep. Sleep deprivation can negatively impact the gut microbiome and increase the risk of digestive problems. Then limit antibiotic use. Unnecessary, we should not take antibiotics. Whenever we use antibiotics, we should do a complete course. Then only, and we should not always take antibiotics as a regular practice. Then stay hydrated. Avoid smoking. Then limit alcohol consumption. Avoid overuse of disinfectants. Lot of disinfectants people use. So in that case, that can also affect the microbes of the gut and on the skin also. Regular medical checkup, that can help in knowing the things, how our gut microbe is changing and what type of interventions is required. That can be done through the medical practitioner. So what can we expect when we heal? So when we heal our gut, we will have a lot of improvements in our health. We can have better moods, we can have hormone balance, reduce inflammation and pain, a stronger immune system, better energy, improved cognition, less anxiety and depression, less food sensitivity, reduce seasonal allergy. Then you have clear skin, lower disease risk. So lot of things there. This improve gut. When you improve your gut, this improvement in the symptoms you will see. So with this, I will say that conclude that nurture your gut microbiome like a garden, with wholesome foods, mindful habits, and gentle care for it is the foundation of vitality and well-being. Thank you very much.